What's going on, guys? It's Byron with ETA Wheels. Just wanted to show you what's been going on, what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, about 2 weeks actually, and I'll show you some of the changes that we've made to the beast. So, where to start? There's a U-shaped hose that goes from here to here, and that basically lets the dirty air from the PCV system flow into the intake manifold and get burned off. Well, unfortunately that hose failed. So since that hose failed, and I had some buildup of oil inside the intake manifold, I decided to go ahead and replace it with this catch can. And you can see how I've routed it here. So I get that replaced, and I went for a cruise, and after I got done with the cruise, I noticed I had air leak again, and the car was driving like I had an air leak. So I replaced the brake booster hose here with a 1/2-inch hose because it had failed. Flash forward another couple of days, and I again had an air leak. I couldn't figure it out. Turns out that this hose had failed, so I went ahead and replaced the fresh air vent hose. This is the Volante intake, in case anybody's curious. And after that, a couple of days went by, had another air leak, and this hose right here, which is 1/4-inch fuel hose, it's the evaporation system, which you can see here. This hose had failed. Flash forward a couple of days, I'm getting another air leak. I can see it in how the car's running and acting. And this, which was a hard plastic line going back to here, had failed. So I went ahead and replaced the hard plastic line with some good quality fuel-safe hose. And now I have only one air leak left, and that is these little O-rings right here, and that's just gonna have to wait until I get back from the States. There's an O-ring here, and there's an O-ring in the cap here, and just because I'm paranoid, I'm gonna go ahead and replace those as well. Everything else has been great. I've been working with Brent at MalCal Tuning. Absolutely fantastic to work with. The car sounds and feels amazing now. I've got a 4-inch intake manifold. We're going to remove this that he is fabricating for me at his shop in Tennessee. And so we're going to replace this with a 4-inch. This is a 3.5-inch. And we're going to remove the MAF sensor, and we're going to go with an LS7 MAF sensor. So you can see I've got a little repair I got to do on the harness here when that happens, and I'm really looking forward to it. But that's not going to happen until after January, because I'm fixing to go back to the States, and I'm looking forward to spending time with Mr. Darrell and Mr. Warren, my two littlest monkeys. And I'm hoping to get some of our adventures documented for the channel, which I think would be pretty cool too. And I think they would really like it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it outside, and we'll get a nice first and second gear pull video for you. Get a little exhaust noise, let you hear what it sounds like. I know it's dirty in here. I'm gonna be cleaning it out after I get back. I've got to go up to Ace Hardware, and I've got to source some more 1/4-inch hard plastic lines so I can finally wash my windows. You can see I've already been busy replacing here, and I kind of ran out. So this has got some cracks here. This is just a piece of heat shrink tubing just to kind of make it so I can wash my windows if I need to. But I'm going to go ahead and replace all of that tubing and get it done properly. And at some point I'm going to replace this with a DEI blanket, which I think will look very, very nice and clean. And then I'll pretty much be done with the major stuff on the car. Everything else will just be a little bit of interior work here and there. And I'm going to do some videos on how to add Dynamat or something like Dynamat to your car to help with noise reduction inside the cabin, things like that. And because some people don't understand how to do it, I'm going to go ahead and show them how to access the cabin air filter, which is back in there. And I've got to change my cabin air filter as well, so I'm going to do a video on that. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start it up, let you guys listen to what my wonderful neighbors listen to every morning. And then I'll pull it outside after the oil temperature comes up a little bit. Then I'll give it a nice 1-2 pull. As you can see, even parked here, I have to clean my windows pretty much regularly. So, care and maintenance of these little fellas is critical. Pull it outside, let it warm up, get a nice video. Alright guys, so as you can hear, the car's a little bit quieter now, but it's a lot smoother. Oil temperatures come up to about 50 Celsius, so I'm going to go ahead and call it good enough. And we're going to set you up and take a nice little video. Just going to do a 1-2 down the street, turn around, and come back. When I come back, I'm going to have some 1/4-inch plastic tubing, and we'll go ahead and get those washer lines replaced. I'll show you guys how I do that. Sounds beautiful. And another big shout out, thank you to Brent at MalCal. Alright guys, and we're back. So unfortunately Ace Hardware is out of the 1/4-inch plastic piping that I need, so I'm gonna have to go downtown tomorrow morning and source some from a plumbing shop. So we don't lose the day, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a throttle body cleaning. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. We're gonna start removing this intake tube, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull the throttle body off, and then we're gonna do some cleaning. A couple of things I want to note. I was unable to source actual throttle body cleaner. Instead we're going to be using carb cleaner, which means I'm going to have to remove it from the vehicle. and disconnect it from power. It's not as effective as using regular throttle body cleaner. It's carb cleaner doesn't do as good of a job on the stuff that builds up on a fuel injected motor, but unfortunately there's not much I can do. To the best of my knowledge, LS motors don't have any special coatings on the inside of the throttle bodies or anything like that. So that being said, I'll be right back in a couple of minutes and we'll get right to it. Alright guys, so we've got 4 10mm bolts right here, and I'm going to disconnect you real quick. And as you can see, I've got some buildup in here, which means on the back side it's probably going to be pretty funky, and we're going to clean all that out, hopefully get a much smoother idle when we're done. I'll be back with you guys in a couple minutes after I get the throttle body removed. Alright guys, so now we've got the throttle body removed. We're going to go ahead and just kind of wipe out the area here. Move you guys so you can see. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but there is still some gunk in there. So we're going to go ahead and get this all cleaned off here. Get this cleaned off here. The gasket I'm going to go ahead and reuse, but I'm going to get that junk that's around there removed, and we'll go from there. It's not too bad. Try to catch it. Using an actual throttle body cleaner is a much better idea, as it does a little bit of a better job in getting the crap out. As you can see, I gotta scrub it a little bit, but it's not too bad. Get in there, get a bunch of crap out of here. So this is one of the reasons why you want to use a catch can on the motor. As you can see, PCV line comes out from the valley cover here, and this has got all of your crankcase gases in it. Flows into here where it separates, condenses, and then clean air comes out here. As you can see, it's kind of working. It's doing a fairly decent job. Also kind of get an idea of how well ported this Fast 92 is, and how far I can just reach in there easily. Alright, pretty much done with this part. call this part good. Every little bit helps. Don't want to lose that guy. Remove that, and then I'm going to stuff a nice clean rag in there. And then this will just keep anything potentially from going in there, you know, bug or something. And we'll go ahead and lay out some fresh towels over here, and we'll do it on the ground. Everything nice and clean, and we'll go ahead and alright guys, so nothing particularly fancy. We're just going to spray it. You do not want to move the throttle blade with your fingers. If you do, you're going to have to use a Tech 2 or another scanner. You're going to have to do idle relearn. I'm not trying to do that today. As you can see, it's doing a pretty good job. Move some of the junk on the outside also while we're at it. Sometimes just that little bit of gunk is what keeps it from running at optimal. So the last time I had this in the shop, they didn't do a very good job cleaning it, as you can kind of tell. Trying to very gently scrub off this gunk that has built up here and may have potentially caused the throttle body not to have a proper seal. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that that's nice and cleaned off. Go ahead and start on this side a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's a little bit of daylight that's visible now that was not visible before. So I had it gunked up pretty good, I guess. And when you've got unmetered air from bad vacuum lines like I've had this past couple of weeks, you can have that occur. It can cause the car to run a little more rich, suck up some gunk, all that wonderful stuff. All right. It's actually working pretty good, but it does take a few passes, whereas throttle body cleaner would be a little bit more efficient. Definitely getting the gunk out though. And it is working. Just as I said, it's not ideal. You never want to use this stuff indoors, guys, unless you know, like breathing in hazardous chemicals. It's really hard to resist the temptation to push the throttle body, but you really should, because it takes the car quite a while to relearn. And the first time you do it will be the last time you do it. You want to make sure you don't leave any bits of rag, any kind of FOD, foreign object damage. FOD is bad, because that's just going to get sucked into your motor, and you don't want that. I don't know if you guys can see it, I still got a little bit in there, but it looks a lot better now. Looks like we're almost done. Now, to get the last little bit of gunk and to make sure that we've done the best job that we can do, we're actually going to put it back in the car. I'm going to put the key in the ignition, and I'm going to use a weight on the throttle to open the throttle blade for me. I don't know how well this idea is going to work. I've never actually tried it, but I've made the mistake of pushing the throttle body with my fingers, so I've learned that lesson. So. We'll see if it works. And we'll be right back. Alright, so keys in the ignition. I'm going to press the throttle pedal, and we should see the throttle blades move. Hopefully. Alright, so what we're going to do, I've had to change you to a different mount, and I'm going to go ahead and use my tripod to press the gas pedal down. And then we'll be able to get that last little bit clean. Okay guys, I'll be back in just a moment, but just so you can see, there's still that little bit of gunk right in through here that you can't get through, or you can't get to. But you don't want to move the throttle body by hand because you're going to throw off the throttle body. Then you have to do an idle relearn, and it takes a while. It's a big pain in the butt. So as you can see, I don't want to screw up the paint here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to lay down a bunch more shop towels, and then I'm going to basically spray the rag, wipe it out, and we'll be done with it. So let me take you guys a little bit closer up here, so just so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. That line of gunk in there, you can kind of see it. That's the stuff that I got to get off. Did a pretty good job on the top, but I still got some. You can see where the throttle body was, or where the throttle blade was, I should say. But overall, it's not bad. That little bit will be very easy to do with a shop towel. All right, here we go. We're a little over half of a bottle of carb cleaner, by the way. But like I said, it's not as effective as proper throttle body cleaner, but it gets the job done. I don't like using this barehanded. I am out of my nitrile gloves, unfortunately, and I don't want to risk soaking up some of this junk into those work gloves that I've got there. So anyway, the other way to do this is to just have your wife, significant other, friend, what have you, press the throttle body. In my case, I used the tripod that I was using earlier to make this video, and it seems to work pretty well, as you can see. We're just about done there. Get it on this side. And we'll bring you in for a nice close-up when we're done. So this one's starting to pill out. I'm gonna have to grab a fresh one. Try not to leave any little bits of rag or shop towel in there, because that's bad. Try to get the sides of the throttle body as well. Remember, you're not trying to fight it. You're just trying to work with it. I'm guessing you could probably just run a constant voltage source in there. I don't really know. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. I know you can use a tech tool or a scan tool to open the throttle body. Like I said, I didn't feel like busting out my tech tool today. I do have a Chinese Tech 2 copy. I didn't feel like using it. I wanted to show you guys something that's easy and accessible that anybody can do at home. And so that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. I got a little bit of junk that I got to spray out. Not much I can do about that, but that's why we have shop towels down. This is just going to remove any of the last little bit of rag. The stuff that is hard to get at with the method I'm using. Trying to really get down in the side of this throttle blade here. And there we have it. So bring in for a nice close look. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. Don't know what your pronoun is, but this is how you do it. Alright? So it doesn't matter who or what you are, you can do it. Alright? I'll be right back in a few minutes. Alright, so I got it final wiped down, and I'm going to go ahead and shut down the, I'm going to remove the tripod, and then we're going to go ahead and shut off the ignition. Now, I've never actually tried doing it that way before. That's the first time I've ever tried doing that. But it kind of was an idea I had floating around in my head. I was curious to see how well it would work. And as you can see, it works really well. I'm going to go ahead and get the tripod set back up here. Get you guys a better view again. So we'll be back in a moment. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and pull the wire harness out. And then as you can see, I still have a little bit of fuzzy in there. So I'm going to go ahead and blow that out with the carb cleaner off to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and get it bolted back on. Alright, that's all she wrote. So now we're going to put it there. Just hold it in place. The bolts. This one in place. Hold it, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so we've got the throttle body hung. I've just kind of loosely snugged these up. Go ahead and use a torque wrench. 89 inch-pounds. I like to do it in a cross like this. You can do it however you wish. As you can see, it does not take a lot. But if you want to avoid any air leaks, any potential mishaps, just use a torque wrench. Now we're going to go ahead and get everything reassembled, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we got everything assembled. Everything's lined, solid, no air leaks, torqued. I'm going to go ahead and get the mess cleaned up, and we'll fire it up. Alright, so I've gone ahead and started the throttle relearn process, which you're going to have to do after you clean it. Basically, you leave the key in the run position without starting the car for 3 minutes. Then you're going to switch the car off. You're going to switch the car on, let it run for 30 seconds. And I'm going to switch the car off, and hopefully that'll do it. If that doesn't do it, then I'm going to have to do the other way, which is basically hold the pedal to the floor, crank the car. It will not start. Then I let the throttle go, and then I turn the key to the start position, and it should reset. So one of those two methods, I can't remember which one works on this car at the moment. The most surefire method is to use a scan tool. Not everybody has that, so I'm trying to show you guys how to do it without the scan tool. If I really have to, I'll walk inside the house there and break it out. But I'm hoping to have some good results here for you guys. Got about a minute left. I'm going to go ahead and hop in, get ready. guys here so you get a little bit of a better view. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go for another quick test drive. And the hanging idle should be gone now. Turn on the AC, just a little, not too bad. Here we go. Dropping down nicely. I apologize for the dirty windshield. We're going to be taking care of that in tomorrow's video. Let's have a little fun. Not too much fun, obviously. So, throttle is hanging just a little bit, ever so slightly. That's that little bit that's going to go away with a longer drive. But yeah, it's pretty good now. There's still just a little bit left on the hanging idle. Alright, back out. Move your driver in the way. Just blocking traffic, hanging out. Alright, cool. He's moved. Going for small miracles, right? Overall, much happier. Throttle response has improved, and the idle has improved, which is the most critical. Tomorrow, when I go down and I get that plastic piping, that'll be the last little bit of driving that I got to do to basically have the idle all the way back to normal. So anyway, I was able to get a nice data log, and we'll go from there. This is Byron at ETA Wheels. Have a great day.